Warriors fans, our front office has a seismic decision to make. Not on one player, two players. Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody. They are now extension eligible going into their final season on their rookie contract. We're going to break down what this means, what their contract could look like, what other players from their 2021 rookie draft class are getting, and we're going to make sure you know what could be coming up this offseason. If not, it will wait until next offseason. All this and more on Randy Silver's Warriors Digest episode right here. And before we get into it, as we're starting to do, I want to shout out a couple of people commenting. Chris, drop a sub, guys. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed, follow Chris's advice. We got a Spanish comment right here, basically saying, Randy, the content's really good. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Jaime. T Go Crazy, love the content. Keep it up, Randy. Heart, thank you so much for viewing. And Car Music 30, loving your content and hats off to your consistency. Thank you so much. And again, if you're not part of the 14% subscribed here, you're not seeing daily Warrior videos. We're putting out 2-3 a day, keeping you up to date on everything in Warriors Digest. And as I said, what is today? Warriors can now start negotiating Kaminga Moody rookie extensions. This will decide, one more time, this will decide not just our present, our future. Kaminga, I've said this again and again on this channel. He is a future All-Star. He's only 21 years old. A future All-NBA player, All-Pro player. Has that potential. We saw that in the back half of this season. And the offseason videos I've seen on Twitter, other places, he is grinding, getting better this offseason. He works really hard all the time, but I see a lot of three-point shot videos, which will only make him better. Moody, I put in a video like a week or two ago. I think he has a potential to be an all-star once or twice. He has the opportunity, if he's really starting, getting 70, 80 games in, to be somebody like Wiggins was in 2021, 2022. Yeah, when Wiggins made the all-star game, and he deserved it. And again, also half the all-star game is the votes you get. Playing in an organization like the Warriors have a massive global following. If your player's doing really well, sometimes you get voted in when maybe you don't deserve it. Or the global media, the media will recognize that you should get in. I think Moody has the potential on both ends of the floor to put together for a couple seasons to have all-star potential. Now the question is, will this be with the Warriors or with another NBA team? Starting Saturday, so this was a couple days ago, the Warriors and any NBA team can negotiate rookie extensions with their rookies from the 2021 NBA draft class. All those players now entering the final year of their rookie contracts. So Saturday was the official start of the new NBA season. Obviously, you could start negotiating last Sunday. That's when we found out a bunch of the free agency. That's when you could start. But Saturday, July 6th, was when you could actually start putting pen to paper and signing contracts. That's why you saw Quinton Post officially announced as a Warrior. The trades went through. Now you're going to see Kyle Anderson officially in. Melton could get signed. Waters, that trade, everything gets together. And obviously Clay going to the Mavericks. The deadline for each contract extension is the final day of the offseason before the regular season starts, typically sometime in late October. If the Warriors can't agree to deal with Kaminga or Moody, they will become a restricted free agent next offseason. So let's make sure that's clear. Again, I know for some NBA fans, if you're a diehard loyal fans, you may know this, but this channel is for all levels of Warriors fans, all levels of NBA fans. We want to make sure everyone's just aware of the scenarios, what's happening. So to be able to sign a rookie extension so they get their second contract in NBA, that has to be agreed upon and signed before the start of this new season, which will be in late October. It cannot be negotiated during the season. So if it's not signed before the start of the first tip for the Warriors, they will go in the next season as a restricted free agent. You may be asking, what's the difference between a restricted free agent versus an unrestricted free agent? Well, let me tell you. A restricted free agent means they're able to sign an offer sheet with another organization, but the original team has the right to match that deal to retain the player. So even if the Warriors can't extend Kaminga or Moody this offseason, they are guaranteed the chance to keep him next year. So let's give you an example. Kaminga is not signed before the start of this year. Next season, he gets a 4-year, $100 million offer from the LA Lakers. We have about 72 hours, or actually might be exactly 72 hours, to match that. So 3 days, we can decide if we want to match it or we don't. If we match it, Kuminga stays a Warrior and he signs that contract. If Kuminga does not receive a contract from the Warriors, he becomes a Laker. Another team, Moody gets an offer from the Bucks. Bucks, they want to give him 3 years, $30 million. I don't know, something like that. 72 hours to match it. So it's a way for teams who are trying to build in the way the salary cap is set up, the rules are set up, etc., for you to be able to retain homegrown players. So it's not do or die if you don't sign, but potentially this is what could happen. Say Kaminga, we want to sign him for 4 years, $100 million. He doesn't accept that offer, and he has a crazy season all-star. Maybe some team will offer him 4 years, $150 million next offseason. That means that we have to match that or he walks. Or vice versa. We offer him 4 years, $100 million. He doesn't accept it. Then what if he has a terrible season and he only gets offered 4 years, $80 million next season? He lost out on money. Or maybe they don't even get to a chance of an offer being happen and they just play out next year. So there's a lot of different scenarios both sides can do. Can you bet on yourself and think you get a bigger deal if you're not getting it? Or do the Warriors think that maybe a team wouldn't be going for Kuminga, going for Moody? I can give them a deal next season and see how they play out this year. Just giving you the mindset of what Joe Lacob, Dunleavy, Kerr are thinking about, and from the player mindset as well. What have we seen inside the NBA? Over the last 2 weeks, Scotty Barnes of the Raptors and Franz Wagner of the Magic signed rookie extensions worth at least $224 million over 5 seasons. $224 over 5 seasons. $45 million-ish per year. Wild. A lot of money for someone who's been in the NBA for 4 years, showing the salary cap is going up and up. They were both lottery picks as well. So here's the 2021 first round top 15 picks. Cade Cunningham apparently has a 5-year, $226 million deal out. It's on he's not signed it yet. I read Jalen Green. They have to decide between him, another player, and Van Vliet. Someone will be a salary cap casualty, so unsure what that's happening. Evan Mobley, I'm pretty sure, was re-signed with the Cavs. We just talked about Barnes. Suggs, what's going to happen to him now that they got Wagner? Does that mean Suggs becomes a casualty if they can't do it? Because they have to extend Pablo Banchero very soon. Giddey, we know, got traded to Chicago. And then you got Kuminga, already mentioned Wagner. Davion Mitchell got traded to Toronto from the Kings. Zion Williams, I'm not even sure if he's still in the NBA. And then you got Moody down there at 14. So you're seeing how this is playing out. Teams are making decisions, and if they don't think they're going to resign, like Davion Mitchell, you can get somebody else. You make the trade. Kuminga doesn't have the same resume as Barnes and Wagner, but he hasn't been able to play and be that guy. However, could get 35 or 40 million per year. We reported earlier in the offseason he may get 30 million a year. This just bumps it up because you're seeing what other people in the class are getting, and if they're getting that, then where's Kuminga fall? A bit below, but also knowing the new media rights deals coming in, then you have to factor that in that these deals will be bigger than what they would have been in this new deal. Moody hasn't played as much. Again, stats aren't there where you would hope it would be. His contract offer maybe $20 million per year. So where does that put the Warriors at? If we look where we need to go, let me pull it up. Oh, wrong one. So right now, Moody's making $5 million. Kuminga's making $7 million. That would be a massive pay raise for both. If we did nothing in signing new players and say Kuminga got $40 million a year, Moody got $20 million a year, that's another $60 million on the 25-26. That puts us at $180 million. We're basically at the salary cap in 25-26 with those extensions. That's not bringing back GP2. You think Looney's probably walking. Beekman was his contract. You got Post there. So it definitely is going to be something of a casualty. We'll see maybe what happens. You definitely keep Kuminga over Moody for me. But you can understand why maybe lowballed Clay. Didn't want Chris Paul back, knowing these extensions had to come. So again, Moody maybe $20 million a year. Kuminga will likely be a Warrior going forward unless he's needed in a trade package for an All-NBA player. But again, we've heard that he's basically non-negotiable. He's not being put in the marketing trade. Was maybe added in the Paul George trade. He wasn't. He heard. I haven't heard definitively which way it was. Kuminga averaged 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists in 74 games. And of course, he started for Clay towards the end of the second half of the season when he was really stepped in his own, had that conversation with Steve Kerr, and picked it up. Dunleavy, what about them? I think we want those guys here long term. So having them extension eligible certainly lends towards trying to make something work. I think going through everything we're going through now in the draft free agency, we'll get to that. So now that the draft is over, we're basically done with our free agency unless we can get market in. Then now they can look to Kaminga and Moody. They have basically the rest of July, August, September, October. So basically 4 months to make it happen. For us to trade them, it would a Kaminga, Moody, Trace, or Brandon. It would have to be something that we felt unequivocally changed the trajectory of our franchise. They have to make us better. And Paul George maybe, but he's 34. And Dunleavy says he wants to keep the team young and build this core out, which again, with Steph Curry at his age, Draymond at his age, does that really fit the timeline? And that's where we're at right now. This is where offseason looks. Again, we bring in some players, great role players, great guards. I still think we need a big man, and we're pretty much done unless we can make a trade because we can't bring any more salary in. So Moody, Kaminga, extension eligible. Be on the lookout the next 4 months if it comes. If not, they will be they will be a restricted free agent at the start of next offseason. And you know, here in Words Digest, Randy will be keeping you up to date on everything. And I just talked about myself in third person. I will be keeping you up to date on everything. So go ahead and subscribe. Be like the fans who put out those great messages earlier. Thank you. And if you want to put a nice message in, I'll put it on the next episode. And of course, if there's something I should be talking about, I say wrong, do wrong, put that in there as well because I need to know. Bye, y'all.